we are sitting in the office of Heirloom's new candy barn, aka the gummy facility, at the farm of Beacon Skiff Apple Orchards. Beacon Skiff, at our heart, we're a 1,000-acre apple orchard, but we also have a lot of beverage manufacturing facilities on site here. We have one that specializes in fresh cider as well as cold brew coffee. We have a distillery making all of our spirits. We have an alcohol canning facility to make all of our 1911 hard cider, as well as our new cannabis manufacturing and extraction facility across the street, where we do all of our beverages, our vapes, and then in this facility we're sitting in is our new gummy facility. Beacon Skiff was formed by George Beak and Andrew Skiff back in 1911, just as a commercial apple orchard, and they did so for the few generations. And then really, in I believe the 70s is when the family started getting into beverage production, making fresh cider for distribution across the Northeast. And then also they built a pick your own apple retail campus. We call it Apple Hill. I'm born and raised in Syracuse. This is where I would come at least 1 or 2 weekends every fall as a kid. It's a staple in the local community here as a place to go. So we have pretty robust apple picking spot, as well as a large tasting room so you can try all of our 1911 alcohol products. We have a general store for all of your tchotchkes and so forth. And of course, I can't forget the bakery where we make our famous cider donuts. One, we knew beverage production. We have a lot of experience and expertise there. Myself and our CEO, Eddie Brennan, were both cannabis consumers and liked CBD, and we saw the rise of these CBD beverages kind of popping up back in 2016 or 2017. Realized that we could make this as well, and kind of fell into the New York hemp program. We didn't even know this existed, but called the right people, found out this program existed, applied for our hemp cultivation and hemp processing, and we were off to the races. One of the big things that we wanted to do with those licenses was make the first USDA organic CBD beverage, which we luckily did in 2019. So I still think that's the only certified organic CBD beverage in the market, which is kind of a feather in our cap. From a production standpoint, right, we had all the tools in place. We allow, New York did allow dual purpose facilities, so we had a hemp extraction facility that we could utilize for cannabis extraction. We had a lot of experience working with cannabinoid extracts like distillate to make, we were making CBD vapes. Obviously it's a pretty easy transition to THC vapes. Beverages, we've been making CBD beverages again since 2018. Gummies was like a newer thing for us, but again, we have a lot of experience with food manufacturing. So really exciting. And then obviously the muscle balms and some of the tinctures we were making that in the CBD days. So a lot of it really overlapped with what we wanted to do in THC versus what we were doing with hemp. One thing that New York did that I really am excited about is they separated suppliers and retailers. So really there's no vertical integration unless you're one of the medical operators, but everyone else, you either pick the supply side or retail. So it's a 2-tier market. That allowed us to really just focus on making a really high quality brand and high quality products with Heirloom. Challenge being you had all the suppliers licensed well before all the retailers. So we had in initial months and year kind of an oversupply on the supply side, very few retailers to sell to. But what we've seen over the last 6 to 8 months is a real ramp up in the retail rollout. So really excited to see the momentum that we're having right now. But again, in terms of like using our experience, we are also in alcohol, right? 1911 is our alcohol brand. Alcohol is another highly regulated industry. In alcohol, right, it's also a different tier. It's a tier system where you're either on the supply side or retail. So a lot of the same rules about how you advertise and market, how you discount is very similar to what we're used to in alcohol. What we're doing with cannabis is very similar to what we're doing with apples, right? Apples is just an agricultural crop. Cannabis is as well. With apples, right, we take an agricultural crop, a commodity, more or less, and further process it to make a value-add product, right? We take apples, literally harvest it from our trees here, press it at our fresh cider mill, turn it into juice. We then bring it up to our alcohol facility, ferment it, turn it into our hard cider, and are able to actually serve our customers a canned 1911. Right? Same process with what we're doing with cannabis. Right? We're growing our flower outdoors, extracting it for the THC oil, and then turning that into the value-add products that you see here today. Building the brand was the top priority, right? But also having the right team in place on the manufacturing production side to be able to scale and expand the categories that we're in. I think one of the key benefits we've had is we've had both the facility that could scale and the team to ensure that we always have product ready for dispensaries. So, if New York turned on 50 new stores tomorrow, we'd be ready, right? So that's one of the biggest challenges in New York is demand planning, when you don't know if it's one store next quarter or 100. But we want to go, extra long on packaging, on inventory, to make sure we're ready.